Okay. It's a collective effort, okay? I will explain the basic idea, but you also guys needs to provide the input. Don't, it's not a something topic I'm explaining, right? Okay. Now, what are the types of IT companies we have? When we talk about IT
Uh,
company, what are the types?
pro- Product based and service based, sir.
Product and service.
Service.
What do we mean what do we call the product based companies? How do we identify the product base?
They develop own application
Hmm.
like Flipkart, Amazon.
Right? They have a particular product, and for that product, they have means
They enhance the
sometimes
functionality.
other user might use their product, or sometimes for their product, other might be client of. Okay. Let's say product. Let's say Amazon, Flipkart is a product, but they don't have client directly. Customer use their product. Okay. What I know, warranty application. Let me see that application name. Okay. Warranty. Check out. What was that name? Okay, anyway, my partner is there na Gorakh, so his friend has a company. Which product is they just their application is they will just track you the warranty. Now, let's say consider you have a manufacturing industry. There are so many products or so many instruments are there which you are going to use. But every instruments or let's say in every device will have some expiry, correct? So I'm just taking an example. So he has created a application which will just help you to create to manage your warranties of the application or the devices whatever you are using. Okay. So it's a product. He has created a product. Others use their product. Either some of the companies also use it. Some personal employees also use that. Okay. So product is something you created, and either that product will be used by customer directly or other client will use it and then their employee will use it. First, client will purchase their product, our product, and their client or customer they might use it. Okay. So something related. Now, what is service based? What is service
They work
based?
for other clients.
We
Mm, hmm,
created multiple
Like
applications and multiple websites for the client and
mm,
sell that.
no.
Not buying, but subscription purchase like
We are developing a product for the client.
Okay.
subscription. I
Here,
think
see, in product, what we have done, we have created our own product for ours, right? The need was ours, and we are going to sell it. That is our product. Okay. Now, service is like, let's say if we talk about TCS or Infosys. So what they do, they provide service to the different client. Client has their project. Okay. Client gives project to TCS. Okay. Then TCS helps them to complete it. Just like that, another client give project to Infosys. Okay, like that. So again, the TCS will create a team and then team will work on that particular client project. Clear? Product and the service based.
yes, sir.
Okay. Now forget about the product base. We are just talking about the service base. Now, how does service based industry works? So let's say if we let me open the Excel. Let's say if we talk about first TCS, and then let's say if we talk about Infosys. Okay. Anyone knows the client of TCS? Anyone knows what clients TCS has? No,
IRCTC maybe.
right? IRCTC TCS has it. Yeah, I think TCS only has it. Anyway, so many like Safari visit we do, right?
CVS Pharmacy.
Which one?
CVS in US, TCS is one of the
Okay,
biggest vendor for
right.
the CVS.
Okay, CBS. So, but like say if we talk about India, so in Indian Safari application, Safari is there, right? So many wildlife sanctuaries are there. So whenever we have to visit it, we have to first book the safari. Anyone have tried that? Any Indian national park? Anyone have visited? So you might find a very old fashioned application that is developed by TCS in ASP.NET. Okay. And it might be developed in around 2005 or 6. It is still like that only. Okay. So mostly government applications are with TCS government app. Okay. Then like again, so many client will be there. Let's say that Caterpillar is there, na? One who has that JCB and everything. Okay, so these are client. Let's say TCS has government application, some of it, and Caterpillar also is its client. Let's say if we talk about Infosys, what is the major thing Infosys has done in India? What's the major thing Infosys has from government of India? Guys, tax system, right? That taxation portal is managed by Infosys. Okay, tax portal. Then who has created that Aadhaar card? Who has created Aadhaar card system? Infosys only, na? Or Wipro? Guys, you don't know Aadhaar card created by. Okay, Infosys only. So that Aadhaar card, and how does Aadhaar card system work? It is created by Infosys. Okay, let's say Aadhaar portal. Okay, I'm just talking about some application. So again, let's say Infosys has they have got some project from Citibank, or let's say MFG also one of its client. Again, TCS, let's say USA tax system, we can say something. Okay. So if we talk about TCS has some government applications, one of the client is Caterpillar, and these are nothing, let's say this is TCS, this is Infosys. Okay. These are nothing but client. Okay. These are nothing but client of TCS. So some of the government application, they have some, let's say PWD department, again, so many different department, right? Caterpillar is a one client, USA taxation system is a one client. Just like that, Infosys also has some client. Okay. So now how does IT industry work specific to our service base? So one IT company will have multiple client. Okay. Let's say if we talk about Caterpillar client. So Caterpillar will have only one application, or he can have multiple application with TCS or project. If we talk
Yeah,
about project, they can
Multiple.
have multiple
Multiple.
project also, correct? So let's say if we talk about TCS has one client as Caterpillar. Okay. Then Caterpillar has multiple projects with TCS. Okay. Let's say they have manufacturing unit. So some manufacturing ERP is there. Okay. Then let's say they have some sales applications, so sales app. Okay. Just take an example. So TCS has one client, that is Caterpillar, and Caterpillar has two projects with TCS. Okay. Now, how does billing occur? Obviously, TCS will ask money from them, right? For completing multiple of their project. So there must be billing also. How does billing gets happen in IT industry? If we talk about service based,
Hourly basis.
Hourly base.
but according to project or according to the employees working on that particular project,
Employee
According to
working
project.
on
right?
that particular project.
Previously it used to have like we used to get project and directly one time amount we used to decide. But now that scenario is still there, but it is with limited project. If the project is very short span, then that model get applied. But if a project is a long term, so we don't talk about the project. We talk about the employees. How many employees are going to work for your project? Like that, our billing will get created. Let's say for this manufacturing ERP, 8 people are working. Okay. Now 8 people, from 8 people, let's say 2 are junior and 2 are senior, or remaining are senior. 2 only are junior and remaining are senior. Again, seniors according to the experience level they have, like that they will pay. Okay, so Caterpillar will pay according to the experienced people working on their project. Like this billing work. Okay, now, so we have to, like every company has this application. I was part of my Virtusa application. They have, what do we say? They had an application previously, but they wanted to revamp it. So in my actual Citibank project, I didn't had that much work going on. So I participate in that project. So from there, I got this idea. So one company has multiple client. Multiple client may have multiple project. Okay. On each project, multiple people will be working. Out of, let's say, for this particular project, we said 8 people are working, but out of 8, 1 people might be leading it or managing it. Correct? Then it will there will be a billing part also. Okay. So whatever we do in service-based company, we have multiple client will have multiple project, in multiple project, multiple employees will be working. So some employee will be associated with particular project, and according to the project, we have the billing part also. Understood the flow? Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first, so we are trying to create an application which will help us to manage this data. Every company will have this application or no? Every company
Yes.
will have this some application where we maintain like what are the clients we have, how many projects they have, which employees working on which project, right? How much billing we have received from that client. Obviously, this is very important application in every company. So let's say you want to create an application which will help you to manage all this. Okay. Now, so majorly modules we have. First will be our clients. Okay. So first module is the client. Here we will create multiple client. Okay. Basic CRUD operation will be for the client. Okay. Then once the client is created, what will be the next thing? Let's say we created some client. What will be the
Project.
next thing? Projects,
Project,
right?
sir.
So we will have projects. Okay. Let's say we created a project. After that,
Employees for the
right?
particular project.
Employees who are going to work on a particular project. But first we need to complete. First we will have the employee model also. So we will have employee model. Okay. Then project employee. Here what we will store? Employees working on a particular project. Clear? Okay. Then we will have billing part. Or we can say payment. So payment we will be receiving on what part we will be receiving the payment? On client or on the project? We will receive payment or billing on the project or on the client,
On the
Project.
project.
right? Because for every project, our rate might be different. Correct, na? So we will be getting payment on the project. Okay. Because we need to keep a track of also, na? Like this money we got for this, which particular, we know the client, but for which particular project we have got the payment. Okay. So this is that information. Again, one more model is there. Let's say project started. Anyone have taken the part in kickoff call? Anyone know what is kickoff call? Anyone have heard of it? Kickoff call? Let's say a project is,
Like
yeah.
whenever projects first project call like setup like
No,
how we do the project like something.
no. Kickoff call
Just
means, let's say a client is there. Client comes to an IT company. Okay. He will explain the idea, like what his requirement is. Okay. With his requirement, first he will in the first meeting, he will specify the requirement. We will get that requirement. We will do the R&D on that requirement. What are the modules, everything, right? Client has provided the requirement. We have done the analysis on that requirement. Then a call will happen. Okay. There we will explain like this was your requirement and this is how we can complete it. That is our kickoff call. That's the first step project gets started. Okay. So when we got the project and after the kickoff call, it's decided that like we are going to get the project. So then multiple calls also happen. What might be the call for the client? Let's say project started. After that also we have to initiate multiple calls with the client. What those calls might be,
Requirements, sir.
right? Either requirement or something new functionality they want to add. Anything it can be, right? So we need to document everything because whenever we are working in IT industry, na, client is a person who can change at any time. Okay, he will ask you to develop something, and if you don't document that, after some day, na, he will forget and he will blame it on us like when I did say this. That's why we have Jira and everything. So we need to document everything. So we have a module that is project change. Okay. Here we will keep a track of like what was the initial discussion, what change and something like that. Just like a Jira, but we just needed to track, okay, overall the company and overall the project. So that let's say some lead is there from our company, let's say some manager is there who is handling 4 to 5 client. So if he need to see what is happening with this particular client. So by using this, he can get an idea like this was decided, then we had a meeting, this was decided, then we had a meeting, this was decided. Okay. So these are the various models we have in our application. Got the basic idea? We are creating an application which will help us to manage the client and the project and the employees, everything, who is working on which project, what are the payments we have received for that particular project, everything we can track in this application. Understood the idea?
Yeah, I think we have got the
Yes.
high level overview.
Okay, high level clear. Now coming part to the API. So APIs are over here, freeapi.miniprojectideas.com. So some dashboard will also be there, some master API that is a role. Okay, then designation API is there. Now here employee registration start. Normally an employee, normally employees will be already registered, but we need to complete this application. So we need to have an employee module also. So first employee registration will be there. Let's say you have created some employee. After that client. So you can see client APIs are over here. You will create the client. Once the client is created, we have to create the project, add client project. So some client project related APIs are over here. Okay, again, some extra APIs are there. Get projects lead by employee, get projects by client ID, get all client project. Various APIs are there, which we need in various steps. Okay, but some are basic API and some are advanced API, which we need according to the scenario. Okay, so from by this API, you will be creating the client project. Okay. Then once the project is created, we need to add the employee to the project. So you can see add employee to the project, get employees by the project, get all project employees, delete employee from the project, right? Project is created, but what are the people who are going to work on this project? So to add and remove, we have this API. Then as I said, after project started, we do multiple meeting with the client also. So just to track that, we have one more module that is meeting. Okay. And according to the meeting, we have project change, like what was decided in this meeting. So then related module is project change. Okay. And then finally a payment module and a login API. So see, now the flow is first you will create the employee. So in employee object, it's a big employee object. Okay. Because in employee, we have skill also and experience also. For now, those who are learning for those who are going to do the first time, you can skip this part, multiple part, just complete the employee, basic employee. Okay, no need to consider this multiple skill and multiple experiences. But those who have already working experience, you can complete the whole thing. This is single with multiple entity scenario. Okay, so from here you will create the employee. Now tell me how many foreign keys are there in this employee object? How many foreign keys are there in employee object?
3.
Which one? Role ID,
Role ID.
designation ID.
Yes, yes.
Only 2s are there. This is primary key, na, employee ID.
Employee ID.
Role ID and the
Okay.
designation ID. Only 2 foreign keys are there. This is integer. That's why 0. This is not foreign key. Okay. So when we talk about role ID and designation ID, so this is foreign key. So what you will do in the UI? Remaining things are text box you will do, correct? What
Option.
will happen in role ID and the
The
designation ID?
we will use the drop and pass
It
ID.
will be drop
Select
down,
drop.
right? Role drop down and the designation drop down. So that drop down data will come from somewhere, na? So you will have those API over here. Get all role and get all designation. Clear? So this API you will okay. So this API on the page load of the create form, you will call this API and whatever the data you get from get all role and get all designation, that you will bind it over here. Understood? So remaining things are same only. Here we have the password because employee is also going to use this application. Okay. So that he can see what are his entitlement, how many projects he has still worked on and something. So that's why we have password also. Clear? Employee object. Okay.
Yes.
So you created employee, then you will create the client. So client don't have any foreign key. Do we have any foreign key over here? Do we have
No.
any? No, right?
No.
Client ID is your primary key. Remaining things are static only. Okay. So you created a client, then you create the project. So add update client project. So here, tell me now, you are creating a project of a particular client. So how many foreign keys are over here?
3.
See, client project ID. This is primary key or foreign key?
Oh, sorry, that's primary key.
Primary key, na? Client
Yeah.
project ID. Then we have lead by EMP ID. What is the meaning of this field?
The lead's employee ID who is leading the project.
Right? One project will be lead by one employee. So we need to track it also, like who is going to lead this project. So that's why we will have this foreign key. So what do we need to do it over here? What you will show it over here?
Same
Lead
drop.
ID.
Employee drop down, na? You will integrate get all employee API and whatever the employees you have, that you will show it over here. But while creating employee, you are assigning the designation also, right? While creating employee, you are showing the designation. So which type of employee you will show it over here?
Yeah, we'll filter it by the designation who's lead.
Right? Only lead should be shown over here. We don't want to show all the employees, na? Why junior employees will lead the project, na? Correct? So on the UI side, you need to filter it out. Okay. But those who are not getting it, you just need to show the employee drop down for now. Once you complete that, then we will see the next part. How do you filter it? Okay. Then client ID. So here we will have the client drop down. Correct? Mind this project, whatever the project we are creating is belongs to the which client. So we will have a client drop down over here. Correct? Understood? This is how you create the project of a particular client. Then we need to add the employee to the project also. So where it is? Add employee to the project. Okay. What are the foreign keys? Project EMP ID.
project
This is my
ID and
primary
employee
key.
ID.
Okay. Foreign keys are employee ID and the project ID. So you will have a short drop down. Okay. Now see, first of all, now once you complete till client project creation, it is very straightforward. After that, all these APIs, it's a CRUD only, but the way how we are going to use it inside the project. Okay. So if you see this object, you are not going to have a form. Okay. This API we are going to integrate. I'm not like you will be able to imagine that. Let's say you have a project list in the table. Once you open that project, there will be multiple tabs. Employees, meetings, changelog, and the payment. Whatever the data we have for that particular project will be visible into that project open form. Okay, so we already know the project ID, which project we have open. So you don't need the drop down. You will just have employee drop down and add button. Like that, you will add multiple employees to the project. Okay, once we move ahead now, then I will explain also. But for now, all the APIs are like that. I'm just explaining the relation. So when you are adding an employee to the project, we have employee ID and project ID as a foreign key. Okay, like that meeting ID going to happen according to the project. So here we have project ID and who was leading that meeting. It's not necessary that every time your lead will be there. Okay, so we need to make sure like who was leading that particular meeting. Okay, then we have project change. So we had the meeting. After that, what change was or what was decided? So we have project ID and who has approved this change. Okay, so change log ID. And again payment we are going to collect according to the project. So project here, do we need client ID over here? We are taking the payment, but client ID is missing over here. Do we need client ID? See, this is the payment object, correct? We are going to have project payment ID. Project ID is their payment date. So do we need client ID over here?
I think
I
payment
think
will be related to project only, right? So I think
Right.
project ID will be fine.
Because in project we already mentioned na client. So again, no need to mention it over here. From project we will get the client detail also. Okay. So these are the all APIs. Everyone clear till now?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now how you have to approach this? First, create a Git repo. Everyone has to work on it. Okay. It's not we are not doing it as a group. If we do it as a group now, someone will work, someone will not work, then project will never complete. Everyone, you create your project and you work on it. Okay. So you create a Git repo and daily push your code. Those who are fresher, whatever the code you are doing, or even if you are experienced, you need to build your GitHub repo, right? Because someday you are going to prepare for the interview, you need to share your GitHub profile. So if every day you are pushing the code, that green dot sign will be there. Okay. So create a Git repo, whatever the code you are doing every day, push it. Okay. Now, if you are good with UI, if you are confident with UI, don't waste time designing the UI. Guys, be on mute. Abhishek. Okay. If you are good or confident with UI, you don't need to waste time designing the UI. Take the help of ChatGPT to design the UI so that you will complete the application little bit faster. But those who don't have that much, those who are fresher or even 1 or 2 year experience now, make sure you create the UI by yourself. Okay. You can take the help of ChatGPT, but don't create everything by ChatGPT. Try to create some form by yourself, right? Okay. Now those who are experienced, let's say you want to design a form for this employee model. So what will be your prompt? How you will write the prompt if you want the UI design? What will be your prompt?
I need to mention the fields first.
Right? You need to mention the field like this is your object, right?
Yes,
So what you
yes,
will do,
yeah.
you will copy this, you will paste it over here. And then you will say, this is my employee object. Okay. This is the history you have specified. Okay. Now you have to explain what you need now. For this object, I need form with bootstrap or material, whatever you want. Bootstrap. Okay. Now here, this employee ID and role ID and designation ID is going to be text box or a drop down,
Drop down.
right?
Drop down.
So you need to specify that also, where role ID and designation ID will be drop down. Okay. Let's say again, it's a big form, right? So many fields are there. If you want to group it also, you can say it also like group related field also. So it will help you to that group. Either it will go for accordion, according to the UI, it will group also. It will help you to create the basic UI. Okay, so those who are already experienced and those who are strong, I will suggest take the help of ChatGPT, complete the UI as quick as possible so that you can complete the project. If you are able to complete this, I will explain the second project also. Okay. Only those who have already experienced and those who have already worked on the project, those only should use the ChatGPT to create the UI. Either ChatGPT or that Bolt AI also, whatever. But prompt will be same over here and over there also. Clear? Like that you will complete everything. Okay. Anyone having any doubt?
I have one doubt.
Yeah.
So when we are taking our project to GitHub, so in that case, will the API like throw course error or not?
Yeah, I will enable it.
Okay, fine. That's
Yeah.
good.
Clear?
Hello, Chetan.
Yeah.
I did not create a single project from from last 9 months. Like I'm unable to think about thinking.
See, don't think
Like,
completely about the project. Create the project and just focus on the employee component for now. You don't have to worry about the whole thing. One day, one component only. Got it? If you think of a whole completing the whole project now, you will get confused or you will not able to think. Just employee registration you are going to do first. Just focus on that. You have to create the form. Post API you need to integrate. And one more component, employee list. There you will do the get API call and you will show it. At least that you can do. See, it's a step-by-step process.
like in this form, I'm like confusing like in that like where I need to create form array, nested form,
Why you will
something like
no, see, that's what I'm saying. Don't go to the advanced level. What I said, no, don't focus on this nested and form array. It's a simple form. Just consider till this. If you don't send this, not this send in your object, just send this as an empty array. API will work. Just forget about this. It's a simple form, simple CRUD application you are doing to do. Do we have any need of any form array or any nested form over here? Do we have any nested form requirement over here?
not till now. I think.
That's what I'm saying. Now. Don't think so much.
And one more thing, like I'm also not aware about foreign key and
you
like
don't need to worry about that.
primary
See,
key. Like
here role ID is here, right?
like how
That's
you consider like right now, which one?
You won't get it. You are not a backend developer. Now I'm backend developer, so I'm getting it. Every time API team will let you know from where if it's a role ID is a 0, so what you will pass. Let's say you are a UI developer, and here you can see role ID is equal to 0. If it's an integer data type, so what number you will pass? You will ask the API team, na? Right? If it's a normal string, so you know, like you will create a text box and user will type. But if it's a number, role ID, now role can be a string also, no? But here it is saying number. So you will contact your API team member, like what I need to send in the role ID, correct? So they will then tell you that role ID is a foreign key. You need to show that roles we are getting from this API over there. See, these are the roles. So you will bind this API and whatever the data you get that you will store into a variable, and that variable you will bind it to your dropdown. That's how you get the role ID. Clear? Abhishek.
Again,
Okay.
one more time.
First, forget about the foreign key. First, create the project, design this form, write the basic GET API, at least GET API call integration you can do, right? Then tomorrow I will explain this foreign key. Fine?
Okay, whatever I can do, I will.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone having any doubt?
So today we are going with create employee, right?
Yeah, employee create and the list. 2 things you can complete now by tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So create 2 components, one for the create employee and one for the employee list. In employee list, you will just show the list of the employee inside the table, and in create employee component, you will just have the form. Either you go with the template, either go you with the reactive. I will suggest go with the reactive. Okay. If you are not that much confident, start with the template. In another component, you can go with the reactive.
Can you tell me one thing? Like if we go with the form builder where we did not create the form controls, okay? If we go with the form builder, then that form validation also working same or it's different one?
Same only,
Like
no? Doesn't matter.
like
It's just the way of creating form. Either you create it with form group or form builder. It's the same thing. Validation has nothing to do with form builder. Okay.
like like particular for particular element we will get form control also inside
Same thing.
form
Same thing.
if we create the
Nothing
if we create
difference.
form with form builder.
Nothing difference. It's just a way how you are creating the form. Okay.
And also
validation.
one way, one thing, one
Hmm.
like I'm confusing like right now, like where I create the that form group, and where I like call the API for that form group. Like in the same like I need to create a submit function. Inside submit only we need to create the form, or
No,
in constructor either in NGUnit
constructor,
something.
na, on the page load, you should have your form initialized, right? That's what I said, Abhishek. Don't go with the higher concept. You are struggling with the basic only. So just complete first component with template form. Are you compatible with template form?
Yeah,
So just complete this first with
I'm
template form.
I'm
Second
I'm
component.
I'm
Hmm.
I'm comfort with the reactive also, but so many things it's I know now, so that's why I'm confusing between them.
That's what I said. Don't put so many things at a time. First, see if your basic is clear now, then you can focus on advanced past. Correct, Abhishek?
Yeah, I
If
will
you are
go with the
struggling
reactive
with
form and
basic, then can you really focus on the advanced part? Okay.
no.
So just go with the approach what I'm saying. Just complete this employee creation and the employee list with template form. Okay. Those who are friendly with reactive, they can go with the reactive also. Okay.
Okay, Chetan.
Yeah. Anyone having any doubt?
So a couple of days back, I was just seeing your one shot of Angular 18, and I think you have used the same API, same cloud operation,
Hmm.
and so we can do like the same. Na, ki we can just show the list in the table in the same component, and in the side we can maybe
But
like.
fields are so many, na? So many fields are there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
If you use the second component, na, then you will get to use that routing also,
yeah. Column 9 will not work here, right?
right?
Correct.
No, see, always go for a second component. Why we are creating projects? So that we can learn all the topic. If you do the CRUD operation in a single component, then you won't be able to use that routing query parameter. Correct? So we
Yeah, I
need to
get it.
learn it also. No? So that's why create a separate component so that you will be using that activated route, query parameter, route, parameterized route you will create. Okay?
Yeah, I get your point.
Yeah. Anyone else having any doubt? Okay, so every day we can connect on the same time. We will just discuss like once the unit testing is done, then there are no topics to explain. So we will just connect for the project issues. Like whatever you guys are facing, if you are having any doubt with like where I will integrate this API, how we need to move ahead. So that thing only we will discuss right now. Okay, but make sure like you have to complete daily. Okay, those who are working, try to find some time because you have joined the course to get it something out, right? So if you work on that project, then only you will get it something. Okay, so try to find the time. As that's what I said, don't waste your time designing the UI. Use the chat GPT. Like that, at least within 1 hour or 2 hours you can complete the API integration. And again, like that project setup, your all method name should be in the constant service, right? All those things you can do. Environment folder you can implement. It's not like in the component only you are writing the API call. Create the service, create the constant, create the class, interface, and everything. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Only create and the list, not update, not delete. Just two things you can focus for now today.
Hello,
Yeah.
Chetan.
Hmm.
In the employee onboarding project, you create a model.
Hmm.
You create the class-based something like okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
You use, but I did that thing with the help of the no
Interface.
reactive form yeah, interface with the
So
interface.
you can use interface also,
I,
class also,
yeah,
no?
I did. So I'm not going for class so I need to go with the sometime I need to go with the class. It's necessary like I'm
It's not necessary. You can use class also or interface also. Both are same. Okay. No restrictions are there. But just class has the constructor. So initialization, you don't have to do it multiple time. If you go for the interface, every component, wherever you are going to use the interface, you need to initialize it there in the component itself. In case of class, you don't have to do that because we have a constructor. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Morning batch is completed.
Yeah, we
29.
will connect in the evening only. I started new batch in the morning, JavaScript. So we will connect in the evening only now.
Okay, but sir, in evening, my office. So it is for only for project, right?
It's a project only. For some days, 7 to 6 session we will need for unit testing. Then it's done. It will be for project only. You can just connect on from the mobile also. Okay.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
You're working from home only, na?
Yes, yes, working
Then
from.
what to, you can join, no?
Sometime, yeah, sometime I'm meeting at 8.
Yeah, it's not topic, na, as I said. And you recorded will be there. Let's say whatever other might have the doubt, you will also going to face the same issue, right? So
Yes.
recording is there. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, so make sure like those who are joining, please work on the project. Otherwise, I don't have to explain that, right? Once you complete the project, then your knowledge will come into a shape. Otherwise, all these topics are just separate topic. Project is what will convert into something else. Okay. Fine. Okay. Let's connect tomorrow then. From tomorrow, we will have the project session also and the unit testing also. We will see one by one. Fine. Pranav, any
Okay.
question?
One of the interviewer asked me related to @inject in the
@ inject, na?
yeah. So
@
how
inject or
to
inject?
Injectable.
@inject?
@
No, not
inject
injectable.
means
Only @inject.
Our
The
date 17, I think.
component we use
@ inject means where do we use it? In the component decorator or while injecting service?
in component itself. No, not in service, only in component. So
@ inject.
so they asked me about means what the use case of that, this kind of thing.
Are you sure @ was there or inject was there?
Yes, only @inject or the
What is
inject
@ inject? @ inject.
in component based.
Standalone, na?
No, and normal component.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's that?
So this is like how do we when we inject any service now there are multiple ways. Okay. What we do with forget about if we don't have this is your normal injection. Okay. But let's say while injecting in your API URL you are using some service. They have provided it. See, let's say this is your service. Okay, API URL. And to this API you have to pass the API URL dynamically. Okay. In this API, in this service, you have various API call function. But the API URL, sometimes dev, sometimes QR, sometimes fraud, something different URL you want to pass. But that you can pass from the component. Okay. So see, here we have injected source, but by injecting, we are passing some data also by using inject. Okay, an API URL. And this API URL, you will store it into somewhere and then you will pass it over here. Okay. Now, when you add it to the provider, okay, like we don't normally do this provider, but let's say you have to provide some token also, na? Then we register our service into provider array. So in provider, you will have some token over here. So whatever the value you pass while injecting into the component, this value, you will get it in your service. They have not provided the service. Okay. So in service, you will be able to access that new value over here. It's like you are creating an instance of service, but while initializing the service, you are passing some value also. In one component, you will pass one URL, in another component, you will pass another value. Okay. Something we call it something topic name is there. I think I have covered it. In the service injection or somewhere I have written it. Dependency injection. But here also I forgot @sale platform. You see, this was that way, API endpoint, and use value whatever we can. But here it is static, but we can pass this from a component also. Okay. Try to just go through this, but no one has asked me yet. What was the company name?
Yeah, first time they asked me. No, I don't know the company. It's very small company. So they asked
No one used
told
that
that
much.
in services they use the injectable, but
Hmm.
I don't want the inject on the
Let
It's
it be.
depend on
Every
project
name,
also,
right?
Chetan.
We need a project like that where URLs are also dynamic according to something, right? Unless you get the project, so many things are there, but you need a scenario and you need a project also like that. Then only you can explore those. Okay. But in every interview, you are going to get one or two questions like that. But it is not
Yes,
guaranteed
yes.
that every time you will be able to answer everything. You can say no, like I haven't used @inject. Okay. There
Yes.
is no wrong in that because
And sometimes what they do now, if you answer everything correct, then they will definitely ask some questions that definitely you like,
right.
which is not used.
They will try to again break you down. If you are trying to ask everything, now they will try to go deep. So there is no way to make happy that interviewer, right?
Yes, yes.
Uh,
And
yes.
when to use impure pipe means
We
NSL.
don't use impure pipe first of all, right? That's the first answer you should give. We should not use
Okay.
impure pipe because for every chain detection, your pipe will execute. If your pipe is impure, even if you click, your pipe will execute, correct?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
why you will create like that? Okay.
Like in when we see the tutorial, some like in which they say for reference type something like
No, but don't go in that. Directly say we should not create. Some interviewer will try to see that answer from you, that
Okay.
you will create a impure pipe or not. So you have to directly say that we should not create the impure pipe because for every chain detection, your pipe will execute. Doesn't matter its value got changed or not. Okay, that's
it
the
will
answer
affect
you should
the
stick to.
application like.
Right, so many performance issue it will create. Unnecessary, your pipe is getting executed multiple times. Okay.
And all the inbuilts are by default is pure, right?
All the
inbuilt
Yes,
pipe
yes.
yeah, by default
that
pure
are
only, no?
given, that is
Yes,
pure pipe, right?
pure only.
We need to
So he
define
asked me
for
that
impure.
in inbuilt pipe, what are the impure pipes? That also he asked.
Okay, Bob. How you will get to know and why you
सर
will worry
थोड़ा
about
हार्ड
that?
हो गया है मतलब बहुत
इतना
अजीब
नहीं
अजीब
पूछते हैं.
I
देखो,
don't know what they
see,
want to
some
confuse
companies
us.
are, we discuss initial, right? Some companies are doing fake hiring also. Why
Yes.
Angular team will create a pipe with, and even they create, how you will know? Right? Angular documentation is not that easy. If you try to
Yeah.
learn from Angular
I
documentation, it's
checked
not that easy.
all is pure, I think.
Pure.
Might be they will confuse me.
Angular won't create by
Yeah.
default impure pipe. No default pipe will be impure. Okay. Fine. Let me know like questions. Those Pranu, you are giving interviews.
Yes.
Okay, just share me the interview question also so that I can add the questions over here. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Anyone else like Abhishek or anyone else is giving interview?
I did not get
Adit-
call from 1 month.
Aditi,
Last one.
you got any question
Yes,
which is not over here?
yes, sir. I have. I've not gone through this completely, but I'll share you the questions.
Yeah, share me the question so that I can add. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, fine then. Let's connect
I'm
tomorrow.
not sure if you have covered this, but they also ask like a resolver a lot.
Oh, resolver we didn't created. It's a easy topic. We will remind me tomorrow. Okay, resolver we will
And
create.
so many of the companies asking how to write a unit test for a service.
That's we will see now. Basic function. How do we write API call service function test cases that we will see.
Mock plus.
Yeah, mock means that stub we have to create and mock. Okay, fine. Aditi and Pranav, just send me the questions also, okay? I will
Yeah,
start
sure.
collaborating.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, fine then. Let's connect tomorrow.
Thank you.